Penland Crusader here, and welcome to part 7 of the 780 Special Combine. So this is all about finishing off and getting it running and getting it to move, and that's what we was all looking for. Does it move? And I'm to tell you, yes, it does. And with assembling the hub and fresh sprocket and a whole lot more. So sit back and enjoy, because there's quite a lot happening this time round. Catch you later. So we took the starter all the bits, and the Bendit's clutch was all full of bits. We cleaned it all out, reassembled it, and we've still got problems with solenoid, and so we changed the solenoid, and now it seems to be working. So I've had the battery on charge here for a little while, and the belt is still tight because I forgot to put it in gear again when I left it to put pressure to the belt. So we'll just give it a go, see if it will start again. But start by me working the controls instead of working a screwdriver. Well, as you can see, it didn't like it, so I put the pressure back on the belt for a little while, and once I get it struck up this next time, I'm going to try the drum in gear and see if we can get the belt to slacken off a bit, ready for the next start. I'm sure it'll be okay once it's had a run. It's just a case of blooming getting there. And to be fair, it started up real well last time, but because I'd left the pressure on the belt for a few days, and I forgot to put the pressure back on the belt. So she's gone tight again, and like I say, the belt is stuck in a place or two on the pulley. So we'll give it another go a bit later. Right, so we're going to start this up and just see if we can run the drum and see where we go. And the belt's still tight, so and I've had it on now a couple of days on tension, so hopefully when I let it off it should be enough to be free enough to start. So we'll give it a go, see what happens. Come on out here. So I've got the ignition now, sorted out a key, I've got the ignition switch to work, and we've got the starter on the pull lever like it should be. So we've got a bit of throttle on, so let's see what happens. Got to take the drum out of gear. There you go. Toby, get out. So right, we'll have another go. We didn't have much joy there then. So I'll just bypass the switch with a screwdriver and just see if I can get on it, just to see if that Yeah, I'll just have to give the battery a bit more of a chance, I think. Okay, so we've changed the starter motor now, and we'll have another go at starting this and see if we can run the drum. So everything's connected up as it should be, so we'll go on board and try it. Drum's out of gear. Anyway, a bit of throttle on, keys on. I've done the key, found another key that fitted the switch and made it fit, so the key's on now. So right, and the pull mechanism is there, so with a bit of luck it will go. First time you've seen the drum run, it's the first time I've seen it run. That's no big banging or clunking. No, this is just gripping hold up. The whole belt is quite tight. of course the other thing is here now is you know, we've got to get the bloody pulleys polished up a bit bright, because they're you know, they're rusty, they've been stood so long, and there's loads and loads of blooming dust and stuff coming out the bottom, and I mean, to be fair, you don't want to be any slacker, otherwise it won't drive at all. But I think once the pulleys get brightened up, it'll slip like it's supposed to do, and especially when it, you know, it gets a load of straw and stuff in it as well, just to bog it down a bit. And of course you haven't got the shakers working either, so you know, it's a bit more pressure against the belt, and hopefully when that's all together, you know, she'll slip as it's supposed to do. But anyway, that's another thing we've been able to look at and see working, which we've never seen before, so I'm pleased with that. So I think the next job then really is to set about putting the hub and everything back on, and then see if we can get it to drive out the shed. I've got change to do, I've got sprockets to change. So yeah, a few bits there to do. So yeah, I'll do the hub, change the sprocket, and then put the drum on and get the wheel on, and then we'll have a look at having a drive out of the shed. And I don't know whether it would actually drive out on one with just one chain on or not, to be honest with you. Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know about that one. But anyway, we'll crack on, we'll get that done, and we'll have a look. Okay, so everything is moving. Elevators. Right, and look. And the fan and that's all going. Put the straw walker on. Just move it a little tiny bit. So, right. So, we've got a problem there. I'll have a look around, see what's going on, see what's holding it, and I'll come back here. Okay, so we've got some sprockets took off. That's my new second-hand sprocket, and if I get this one in the right position, that one's only half as good, sort of, when you look at that. And when you look at the one on the other side, they're very low, got the tops rounded right off. So I should say, you know, at some point it's not been adjusted, and it's you know, the chain has slipped at some point in its life. But anyway, this is a far superior sprocket, so it's going on. It has got one tooth missing, I believe. Yeah. It's got one tooth missing there, so whether it's been jammed up so much or not, I don't know. But the chain goes right round, as you can imagine, from that little tiny sprocket. So there's more than 2/3 of the sprocket with contact area. So I don't think it's going to matter about one tooth missing. The bit that matters is that they're still tall and got a good bite. So I'll get this one transferred to the hub, and then we'll set about that bit, putting it in. I'll bring you back when there's more to show. So that's got the sprocket on, and we've just got one remaining bolt to put in, and it's as simple as that, but I should need two hands in order to put the nut washer back on. But anyway, that's all together now, and when I actually get it on the hub, then I'll go around with the bar and just tighten all the bolts right up tight, because you can't get full force of it the way it is in front of me now, because yeah, it's the wrong angle for your arms to work. So when we get it upright on the hub, then we can put a bit more pressure on. I've cleaned all the brake shoes out. Look, some of them was full of, well, 3 parts of them were just solid with muck, grease and dust, I suppose, but that's all cleaned up. The adjuster works okay, so at least we'll be able to you know, sort some brakes out. The old sprockets over there, look, and the old hub is here. Well, you might say, well, why didn't you change the hubs? Well, although I've got a few screws in the drum, but mine's a cleaner, better drum, plus the bearings are all matched with the bearings on the hub, on the hub. So that's where we're at in a minute. So hopefully we'll get this together this evening, and so we can get ready to put the wheel on, which is what I'm aiming at, and then get, well, not the wheel but the chain, and get it adjusted. I'll show you that adjustment, and then the wheel. So catch you when there's more to show. So we've got the hub on and the adjuster's in place with jacks in the hole in the back plate, and the all important nut and washer on the bottom which holds it all together, and they're the slotted bolts so it can hinge backwards and forwards. So pretty much all ready for the drum to go on, and then we can sort out the chain. And I've got the chain there. It's been in soak all the time I've had the combine. Well, it's 2.5, 3, going on for 3 years, I think. So it in a greasy, oily, diesely substance is all I can say, and so it's well lubricated. So yeah, we'll get the drum on, and then we'll go from there. So I've just lifted the hub on, and this is about all I can do these days. It's pretty heavy, that is. But anyway, I'm just going to grease the bearing up. It's only EP2. It's not going to be doing any road work or like that. So right, we'll plonk that in there. And the all important washer. Then the nut is already in the socket from when I took it off. Just about it. Slacken it back a tad. Okay. Now I've got to find the split pin hole. And in there, for people that don't know, just there in the bottom, look, right where my finger is, there's a grease nipple. So take the plate off the end, and there's a grease nipple in there for the bearings. So if you do any road work, you're going to fetch one home or anything, you know, my answer to that would be to slacken the brakes off a little bit, and then set to and grease that up before you start your journey. We've towed several home with behind a tractor, and I've always slackened the brakes off a tad, and then, like I say, give them a good grease up before we go anywhere. So that's pretty much on. Sort out the chain in the morning, because as you can see, it's fairly dark outside. And where are we? We're 10 past 10 now, so we'll call that do. Right, so I've got a couple of things here then. We've got the brake adjuster, which we're going to adjust, which is that one. And then the bolts, the 3 bolts that hold the hub on there are just, 2 of them have been tightened up. This is the last one. So we'll just do this, and then you can see that they've all sort of been done. So give that a good pulling up. So that's that tight. So brake adjuster, something we don't do much of today on modern cars and trucks, but all the old brakes on all the cars years ago had one of these, and that's a little square that you screwed in. Rule of thumb, you screwed it in to tighten the brake, and you screwed it out to slacken. And when you take these drums off, you have to slacken it off, otherwise if you've got to be aware in the drum won't come off. But if you slacken the brake off, then it'll come off easy. So I've got a spanner here. I can turn this back and forwards, as you can see. I'll just pull in, and I've already wound it in, so I'll just pull that up there now, look, just so it's going over its notch, and I can't move this now at all. It's absolutely solid. So it's just slacking it back to there, and that rotates okay. If I was doing road use, I would say I would leave that there. That would be a nice fit. But I'm going field use, and I'm going to turn it back one full click, which is there. Just so the pedal has got a bit of travel in it. I don't like the pedals when they're tight up to the top on summits like this. It's all mechanical, because the levers and linkages don't tend to get moved very far, and they end up seizing up. Whereas if you've got a bit of travel in your pedal, at least it keeps all your linkages backwards and forwards, you know, working sort of free. That's my take on that. I mean, somebody else say, well, you know, it needs to be right up, but everybody to their own, and that's what I think about this. So that's the brakes done then. That's this one locked off. and we've tightened them bolts. I've done these, all these ones here, they're all done. I had the big bar on them and tighten them up. And I'll just bring you around the corner here. That's the socket just holding the phone up. We put the split pin in there. We've also put the brake linkage pin in. When I can see it, there it is, look, and you just see the slip pin hanging out the bottom. So we just need to clench that one round and then that's finished. So pretty much all this side, apart from now just adjusting the fan belt, is done. So the next time you'll see it, it will have the wheel on. So that'll be good. So I'll bring you back when we've moved on a bit more. Also, the other thing I was going to mention about this, I also did say the other day about when we tow them with a tractor. Now, just to put the record straight, so if you're going to tow one of these with a tractor, you've got to disconnect the chain. I mean, we have a drawbar that fits in the back axle, so you can put it on a tractor and tow one backwards. We don't tend to do so much of that now because I've got a flat deck or drop deck low loader where I can just put one of these on, lift it up and away we go. And all your lights and indicators are all on the back of the trailer. But in times gone by, we have a proper drawbar and we've always towed them backwards. But you must drop the chain off. If you don't drop the chain off, this big cog to that little cog, and you're doing like, 14, 15, 17, 18 mile an hour, you bugger that one down half off round, and what it does, it'll wind the gearbox up, bugger it up. So if you're going to tow it, it's alright if you're just going to tow it out the field or something like that, as long as you're sensible. But if you're going to go down the road, you need to take the chains off. Take the chains off, slacken the brake drums off, so they're not binding, so they don't get hot, and it's all good to go. Pile a bit of grease and the grease nipple in the end of the hub here, and then it's good to go. And there's never no trouble, but you must take the chain off. So I just thought I'd mention that because I'd mentioned earlier on about going down the road and I forgot to put that in. So we've done that now, so people would know. Catch you on the next. Okay, so we've done the fan belt, which is good and tight now. But also notice in there, you see a little flap of rubber up just above the tap. And the water pipe rubbed tight on the back of the bolt on the dynamo adjuster. And you can't move the pipe, it's sort of almost in its relaxed position, where it needs to be. And it goes through there, look. So I'll just push that bit of rubber in there, it's quite tight, and we'll give her a run and see if it stays there. If it stays there, we'll leave it and call that a fix lot, but it just helps stop the bolt from chafing into the pipe and let the water go. Right, so the plate on this hub was missing. Can't find the bolts, can't find the plate anywhere, so all I can think of, it must have been missing. I don't remember it being missing, but that's the way things are sometimes. So I've been to my scrapper around the corner, and because it's a 788, so it's got yellow plates on, but it's revealed 2 bolts and 2 plates. So we've got 1 plate down there. So I just brought over here for safekeeping, and that one's on there. I just need to find 2 bolts. Well, what I'll do, I'll muck the toolbox out on this one because it's full of stuff, and I may find some little bolts in there that will fit that job. So it's wheel time. So I'm going to pop the wheel on, and then we're going to pop that chain on. Bring you back when there's more to show. Okay, so we've sprung an oil leak. So we've got so much going on with the oil pressure gauge. So I'll take the back off the dashboard and have a look at that. And we did have a, I don't know where I took it now. Oh, here we go. Now, I'm not sure whether that's a piece of belt. I don't think it is quite a piece of belt. I think it's off the baffle canvas, because it was all hanging loose, and I think it's got hooked up in a rubber straw walk and it's ripped it and it blew it out. But anyway, oil pressure, so we have got to sort that out, because that could create disaster to the engine. So I'll get the back off and have a look. Okay, so we've got the oil line out of the dashboard, and as you can see, it's well crowded up. And it is well clagged up with rust. So we're going to put a copper line in there, and I'll cut it off just there, look, just below the sheathing, and then I'll join it here with a copper union, brass union, and reuse the end that fits in the oil gauge, which is just there, look. So just another spoke in the wheel, as I say. Right, I'll bring you back with some more show. Brass fitting in there. Good oil pressure. Now we've got a weep there. That's coming out from inside the sheet. Nothing there. Right, I have there. That's running down, all the oil inside that sheet. Nothing coming out that union, so I'm happy with that. Right, the reason why the clutch don't work. Well, the reason why the clutch don't work is quite obvious when you find it. Just see the pulley on the hydraulic pump, and of course it's not going round, so it ain't likely to work, is it? So that's my next plan of attack. We've got to get this clutch to work right. So I'm pleased that's not going round, because it explains a big problem. So yeah, I'm happy with that. And then the throttle control, where it passes on here, I've got to be able to adjust it, it's seized up. So I've got that in the vice now, I've got to free it off. And then we can so yeah, I'll bring you back when there's more show. Okay, so I've had that pulley out to fit this fresh belt. There's the corn unloading belt. Well, it was buggered completely. So I've sized it up, and we think that this one is going to fit. That remains to be seen when we finally get it all on. But as you can see, I've removed the wheel so we can get in here, because you know, it's just struggle otherwise. And the reason the pump weren't going, because there was no belt on it. Now, it's not so much that I'd noticed in the time that we've had it, but then I wasn't looking for it either. So I haven't got a belt the right width, but I just flicked that narrow belt on, just so as I could see whether the you know, the functions are all going to work before I commit myself to buying a new one. And because what I don't see is the method of adjustment, and I don't think there is any. There's no slots in the pump that I can find. I am going to take the bolts out in a minute, just have a look, but hang on a minute. Right. Because I think these bolts here are actually threaded into the plate, and that being the case, there'd be no room for movement, and without that pulley is adjustable, and I'll have a look in the book and see. Bit of a bugger that you can't adjust the belt, I thought. But anyway, this is where we are at the moment, so we're wheel off and in the workings again. So we're caught up again. So okay, so the pump drive belt was missing, because it sits right behind the wheel, so it's not really anything you really took much notice of. Even when I was sitting in the engine bay, never really took that much notice. So we found the belt, and I'm thinking, well, where the hell bloody hell do you adjust it? You can't slide the pump, and you can't move that shaft without the pulley sort of expanded in and out. And then there's the hole under the pump body. Where is it there? Look, hole in the pump body. So I went and had a look on the 788, and question on it, it's got a big spring-loaded tensioner. And I thought, oh well, that's pretty handy, that's missing then. So I had a look round, I sorted right through the gearbox, and lo and behold, I found the jockey. So that was good. I didn't even know it was in there, not that I even looked through the toolbox, to be fair. And so it sits in there like that, pretty much on the belt. And I'm thinking, let's just dropped it. So I'm thinking that when you look at that hole and you look at this hole, you think, bloody hell. Anyway, I looked a bit further in the toolbox, and I found the top hat bush, look, which sits in there, so when you clamp it up, you bolt up tight, and then this still wobbles up and down. So I investigated a bit further, and I found the coach bolt as well. The only thing I can't find is the nut for it, so I've got to look through my stores for a nut. But the coach bolt was sitting in that there from the other side. So after all the troubles we've had today, I could do a bit of luck, and that's my bit of luck today. So I'm pleased, otherwise I'd have to go hunting around looking for one like that, or I'd have to set to and make something. But anyway, so I basically got the bits here now, I've just got to find a nut. So that'll do me, I'll find a nut okay. I've got bloody loads of stuff in the shed, so should be able to get to it. It looks like it's a metric bolt to me. It's not coarse enough to be UNC. Anyway, I'm going to go looking for a bolt, and then I'm going to come back and fit that up, and with a bit of luck, that'll tension that old belt up. And I've got to find a big spring, which goes from that eye hole to the eye hole there. So that's another thing I've got to find. So yeah, so I'm quietly pleased with that. That means tomorrow I can have a work, because obviously it's pitch black now, look. We can, what do you call it, go for another run tomorrow with the hydraulics running, and have a proper clutch, which would be good. And while I've been in here, I've also fitted a new belt for the, I'll just move the light there, and that's for the unloading auger, which goes down there, look. And you have to manually feed it round the pulleys when you get the auger on. You know, the pulley inside there, and it comes round the front there. Once you've got the auger bolted on, then you manually feed it in. So it looks to be, well, the belt is in good order, but it looks to be the right length for the one I've took off. So let's hope it's right, because it is a good belt. So yep, that's pretty much it for today. And let's have a look, see where we are at the time. I'll put this back up here. So the time is, it's nearly 10 past 10, look. I'll just go in the stores now and find a nut, and I'm going to call it do, and we'll see you again in the morning. So there she is, all coupled up. Belt and the spring all in order, as it should be. Lucky find, good job. Right then. Hey! Out. So we've got the belt on the pump, and hopefully got that job sorted out. So we're going to just fire it up now and see that we've got a clutch backwards and forwards, and that'll be another good job done. Oil pipe's done. She was badly corroded inside the sheath leading up to there, and it was all rotted inside there, so we've replaced it with a copper line, and now that's all good. So we'll fire it up and see what happens. I was going to rev it up, and then I thought twice about it, because that ragged canvas is hanging inside the drum on top of straw walkers. So I'll deal with that, get it out of the way, and then we'll strike it up and let her run. So and when she's running, we'll have a walk round so we can see what's going on. But other than the corn pan, it all seems to be good. What I'm going to do though, I'm now going to go tighten that chain. She's got a fair bit of wap in it, so I will tighten that chain before the next start up.